Freeze interview with Tobi Adegboyega. It's no more news that Tobi Adegboyega is running helter-skelter. Some people are of the opinion that the freeze, Tobi Adegboyega is going nowhere. Some people are of the opinion that he has not done anything wrong because he didn't do those things directly. That is how we think as a people. You can as well use people to do crime. Then you are not, you can be exempted because you didn't do it directly. That's the thinking of some people. Of course, we know, if you have been watching, we have been talking about Toby for the past 2 or 3 years now. I have said it several times, that if care is not taken, that it is the novice, the people he is using that will get into trouble than him. But now we know better as things are going. The government cannot really pin anything directly to him. But the victims are there. The victims are there, they are talking. They are saying their experience and their evidences to prove that while going to his church, these are the things that has been happening to him. And because he's the head of the church, he is accountable to whatever is going on, either directly or indirectly. So you can as well continue to support him. The government has other ways they can, and now they are coming through immigration and charity commission. A fraud of 1.8 and almost 1.9 million pounds is on his head already. So he has a lot to shalaye. And you can see that he's been running helter-skelter, granting interview. Not only granting interview, he was even saying that people, his members, his media people, should go all over social media. Why are you running? They said, that is a sinner will not, if you are not a sinner, why are you running?
Hello, Aunty.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Just before I go to bed. Aunty, first and foremost, you see that corn by my church, you see, it gives a better context.
Yes, of what is going on.
What Toby
Again,
has been saying.
You need to change the Go ahead, please.
Compared to what Toby has been saying,
yes,
the corn by my church gives a better context. Now, let me highlight the bit around the way the church was registered, right? You see.
Okay, somebody said he's not a part of the trust. Can you shed light on that for us?
Yeah, that's what I want to explain. Let me explain how the church is registered. You see this Toby's case, Auntie. Umakoba, in short, it's not even Umakoba. Uma expose African churches at the charities in the UK. Ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ dàbí ọ̀rọ̀ nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ pẹ̀lú Matashimolowo ni, pẹ̀lú bó ṣe ń transfer owó, because Matashimolowo ló kó bá àwọn yòókù, pẹ̀lú bó ṣe ń transfer owó, you understand? So let me explain. From the angle of bó ṣe register church, ṣe rẹ̀ pé Tóbi ò ní ìwé, you understand? Sherry, African churches, what they tend to do is, Mama Sony Yoba because me fair, so she understand.
Okay.
Sherry, in African churches, man, she the bá fẹ́ dá church ilẹ̀. Àwọn tó níwèé as in àwọn British citizens. No man lò láti set up church.
Okay.
And àwọn òyìnbó dẹ̀ tí ká scope yẹn.
So òyìnbó kò táṣìírí wọn.
Sherry, the African churches, when they want to open the African communities or religious leaders and even charities, when they want to open churches, when they want to set up a church, not open, when they want to set up a church, what they do is they look for people within their community that their stay has been regulated. Particularly, they look for British citizens or people with indefinite rights to remain, which is like
green card
in America.
Yeah.
So, and the reason why they target people like that, why they target people with British passports or people with indefinite right to remain, ideally, people with British passports will be their main targets. Because with the British passport, you can access any, you can open accounts, you can, because Charity Commission, when organization is registered, Charity Commission will do a background check. Okay? So, for someone that has a British passport, even, the background check will be easier to do compared to somebody who perhaps have indefinite stay, so to say. You understand? Then if he's also someone that has a British passport that is born in the UK, it's easier because just with the date of birth and the national insurance number, just like your social security number in America, it's easier. You understand? So that's what they tend to do. So you see what Toby did, right? When he was opening SPAC Nation, he was at the background. The process of opening the policy...
We are saying it in English, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead and say what you are saying in English.
Okay. So the drafting of the setting of the church, like the mission statement, the policies and blah, all the requirements for opening the church, Tobi Adegboyega was the one that drafted it. Okay? But the registration of the church was not in Tobi Adegboyega's name. It was done by the names of these children. Okay? It was done in the name of the trusted person. So one of the trusted person happens to be a boy called Kelvin.
In the church?
Okay? Yes.
Okay.
So this Kelvin is still there. So Kelvin is a renowned career criminal. Okay? Kelvin has, I think, almost 27 fraud cases. Fraud convictions, not cases. Like serious convictions. Okay? And he's also notorious. He's a notorious gang leader in the Peckham Woolwich area. Okay? So, and I'm using one stone to kill two birds.
Please go ahead.
People were asking, how did he end up going to the conservative Boris Johnson's convention? Okay? Now, so this Kelvin is a renowned career criminal, and is also renowned he's a gang leader. Even while Kelvin is in prison, Kelvin runs gang right from inside the prison.
Wow. Okay? Don, did that as a Don?
Yes. So, I would try and joggle people's memory. I don't know if you remember the case of late Damilola Taylor.
Yes.
Okay. Kelvin's cousin, right, was the leader of the gang that was traced to the buying of Damilola Taylor.
Wow.
So Kelvin comes from a family that they are renowned for criminality. Okay.
Are they Nigerians?
So, I think his mom is Nigerian, his father is Ghanaian, I think. I can't remember. But I would check and I would see the surname.
Okay.
Anyway, so this particular Kelvin is someone of his family, a family of interest to the system, to the London system, because of their involvement in gang culture. You understand? Because it's not just about them being a member of gang. They are actually recruiters of gang, both in prison and outside. As a matter of fact, Kelvin's father, like all his family, they have conviction. They are in and out of prison. Okay? So on this particular occasion, when Kelvin was discharged, when he was released from prison, at that time, Tobi Adegboyega started doing prison visits. Remember, I think his parents own a church in Nigeria, so they were running the arm of that church in the UK. But like you can see, Toby is although he's dumb, but he's street clever.
He's street clever, okay? Yeah, street smart.
So he saw a gap in the system, because when Toby arrived in 2005, there was still a lot of gang culture at that time. That was the days of Tony Blair, where they had tough on crime, tough on the causes of crime. Okay? So Tony Blair's government was very heavy-handed on crime. And it was like, the more they were being heavy-handed, like when I say heavy-handed, like they were sending them to prison and everything, but the more they were doing it, the more the gang culture was growing. So Kelvin was someone of interest to the system. So when Kelvin came out of prison, Tobi Adegboyega, obviously, it seems, from the look of things, it seems Tobi Adegboyega has done his own work. You understand? Because he was living in Peckham at the time. So he's done his own work to understand who Kelvin is. Okay? So while Kelvin was in prison, when he was about to be released, Tobi Adegboyega used to go and do prison visits. So he had formed friendship with Kelvin.
While he was in prison?
Yes. So when Kelvin was released to Tobi Adegboyega's address. You understand?
Yes. Go on.
Of course, Tobi Adegboyega, obviously, in short, SPAC Nation started with Kelvin. So Tobi Adegboyega, of course, they packaged Kelvin, and the system was quite surprised, because normally when Kelvin comes out of prison, within the next 2-3 weeks, he's back into prison again. He would have committed crime. Okay? So this time around, for a whole year, he was out of prison. And they noticed that the gang culture kind of eased a little.
Really, I mean,
okay?
Decrease.
It was still there, but the way they were doing the crime, the gang stuff was not so bad. Okay? The knife crime kind of reduced. Of course, now looking back, Toby is all about PR for Toby. Okay? So when they noticed that, so the system obviously noticed that they look around. Remember, Kelvin's family are people of interest to the system. So when they look around and saw that Kelvin has remained, he's not been in prison
for a while.
For a whole year. What is going on? What has happened to him? Because it's a family of interest for their criminality. Then they realized that he's not a pastor because Toby ordained him almost immediately. And what Kelvin started doing was he started recruiting people from the gang to come into Spark Nation as converts. You understand? And that's why Toby, when you hear Toby saying he has helped the government, he helped them in their time of problem, that is what he's referring to. Okay? So BBC, naturally, remember, Kelvin is someone of interest to the system. So, of course, BBC, in their quest to know, what is it that has changed? Why is Kelvin not in prison? And what is he doing differently? You understand? Because he's someone who has been in and out of prison since he was 14. So they were like, okay, what is wrong with you? So the press followed him. And in the process of, they didn't mean to put the flashlight on Spark Nation. The flashlight was on Kelvin, who is of interest to them. So when they interviewed Kelvin, I will look for the interview. I will send it to you, ma.
Okay, so please.
When they interviewed Kelvin, for the first time, Kelvin mentioned that he's a pastor of a youth church called Spark Nation. That was how Toby became.
Okay.
Spark Nation came to the limelight.
Limelight.
So it wasn't a case of Toby going for interview. It was Kelvin that was the person of interest. I don't know if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
So, obviously, BBC then interviewed him, and he said he's a pastor. Okay, what church do you attend?
What church that could make you change?
What church do you attend?
That church must have done a good job.
Exactly. And then they don't still believe him, because what they notice is, although, yes, he has changed, they also notice that people who are part of the key people in gang culture within Peckham and Woolwich and Tottenham, because these are areas that are known for this. So they noticed that those people, when they went to the church, when they went to Toby's church, they found most of those faces in Toby's church, in this Spark Nation. Okay? So then, of course, it's natural that they will say, okay, well, let us interview the pastor. What is he doing?
What is he doing differently?
Exactly. So that was how the limelight got shone on Toby. And because Toby, unfortunately, psychopath in Toby.
He looks so. Ojo, psychopath, yeah. Yeah.
Ojo, Anthony's point. Advantage of it. In short, like I said, I will look for that first interview, and you will see that even Toby was startled. He was so startled by the limelight being on him. He wasn't prepared. You understand?
Sure.
So, of course, they interviewed him. You could, even the way he was talking, it was not coherent, because it wasn't something, he didn't expect the limelight to be on him. So he knew who Kelvin was, but didn't know how much of interest he is to the system. So subsequently, of course, Toby then realized how big Kelvin is, like how important he was to the system, like how much of interest he is. So even the Boris Johnson convention, the conservative convention that he attended.
Okay, Memphis, I will. Go ahead.
The conservative convention that he attended, at that time, if people remember, those in the UK, remember at that time, that was when David Cameron just came into power. Okay? That was when the conservative government took over from the what's that name? From Labour government. So conservative government obviously wanted to prove, just like any other government, they wanted to show that knife crime has dropped significantly in London. And that particular convention was done in London. So again, Kelvin was invited to come and talk about what he has done differently. You understand? But because Toby is Toby, you remember now, Toby now understands the power of the media. So Kelvin was the one that was invited to come and talk, like any other youth person will come and talk about the change he has made to his life. Okay? When they turned up there, when Kelvin turned up, instead of Kelvin being the only one alone, Toby and his gang, like you see how he was using the video when Daddy Freeze was interviewing him. You see how he's doing with the video. And if you also go and look at his...
You mean the way he was flipping the video?
Yes. If you go and look at his Instagram and see, you will notice that he doesn't work alone. He's always having...
Yes.
He always have a group of young people.
Yes.
So they get crashed that convention. Kelvin was the person that was invited, not Spark Nation.
Oh, so Kelvin actually got invitation to that place, but they all went in a convoy, like a convoy.
Yes, because remember, Kelvin is that criminal that has been rehabilitated.
Okay.
So it wasn't a Spark Nation thing. It was Kelvin that was invited.
Okay.
You understand? As a matter of fact, so obviously, by going to that convention, of course, Toby did not have any role there. Well, you know, if you notice Instagram, Toby puts a camera on himself at every stage. So he didn't. So obviously somebody filmed him. It's not like there was anything. It's not a big guarantee to attend. Like it's just like you're in America. I'm sure you can attend your Democratic or what's the name of this
convention,
Republicans convention.
Yes.
It's not a big deal to attend it. There's no biggie to it. So anyway, that one passed. Now you see, with regards, what's the name? The young people. Now people have been asking, how is it that these young people have documented their story and they cannot pin anything to Toby? It's not like they could not pin anything to Toby, Aunty. Let us Sherry Tabasoro Siwaju Atumapada Kaparawa Sotoro. Right? You see these young people, yes, they documented their story. Some parents spoke to the MP, that's a local politician. I don't know how to call it, I don't know what they call it.
Like
your local MP.
Yeah, representative. We call them representative, yes.
Yeah. So some parents spoke to this representative, but the problem was when police started investigating, because of course telling a political person is not a problem. They have to pass it then to the police. The problem then started when they were trying to reach, these parents who have already said to
congressmen,
the MP,
yeah.
Right? Now, when police was trying to speak to these parents, the parents who had reported these cases to the MP, the usual our African community, they backed off.
After reporting, they backed off.
Remember they reported to politician. You understand? They reported to their local representative. But of course, the local representative, by law, is a crime that has been reported. So he has to report to the police.
Okay.
You understand? He has to pass on the message to the police, and the police obviously will then do the legal, they have to investigate. You understand? So in the process of when they passed it to the police, most of these parents that spoke to the MP, when the police contacted them, they refused to engage with the police.
That's Nigerian system.
You understand?
They do that when they come to us too. When you ask them, can you come forward? They say, no, Auntie, I can't come forward. I'm just telling you.
Exactly. And the problem here is now from that convoy videos to show where Toby was at the meeting.
Yes.
People should that they should really see that.
How were they able to get that video?
Those children produced the video. They were part of the meeting.
Oh, they were the one that gave the video out.
Yeah.
Oh.
They were part of they were part of these meetings.
Okay.
Because remember, most of them were living in the trap houses.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
So there were allegations. Those children had proofs of this allegation. But their parents who were supposed to engage, because of course, yes, the children have said stuff, but they were also saying, if you remember, there was a girl that said she collected benefit, that they used her name to collect benefits.
To collect benefits,
yes. Had to speak up to her parents, right?
Yes.
Now, because they will ask them, it's a normal thing. When crime is committed, they will ask, are there other people who are aware
involved
of this crime?
Yeah.
You understand? So these children, most of them, I call them children, but they're young people. So
young adults.
Young people mentioned that their parents were involved. Some of them, they were with caregivers. Their caregivers were involved. But the problem was when police went to go and speak to these caregivers, because remember, for them to be able to prosecute someone, they need witnesses.
Yeah.
Apart from the people who came to report the case.
Yeah.
Okay. So when they wanted to speak to these parents who were identified, it was a case of they declined. And that was quite frustrating for the police.
And this is what the white people will not do. They won't do that. They will be ready to give witnesses and talk.
Exactly.
And support.
So much so that the people within the community, people were like, I could, to an extent, there were parents who were saying, they felt like failures. It was quite disgraceful for them. They felt ashamed. Ashamed.
Their children are stuck in that kind of place or involved, or their children have been to jail or something. Yeah.
Exactly. Then there was also that thing of, if I go and talk, me, if I go there, or if I go there, what me any if I'm lonely. You understand that kind of scenario?
I get you.
So there were, so there was a lot around it. And yes, on the
It's
surface,
about our mentality.
So on the surface, it looks like the UK system is, the system is not paying attention. That's not entirely the case.
Okay, because that's what I have been saying anyway.
No.
Wait, is it because they are black? Wait, if a white child is involved, I don't think...
Okay, I will tell you why I'm saying that authoritatively, because I was part of at least 5 of the cases that happened in the area where I lived. Their parents were in the area where I lived. You understand? Through my job, I was part of that investigation. There were serious safeguarding in Shokerewa that the girl had, 3 of the girls, they had documentation. Because you know what this Toby was doing?
Mulanuni, Mugbo.
You understand? So there were evidences of this. And then when we tried to speak, because the girls were too traumatized, you understand, to go ahead, because rape case,
can I make you pause at this point? This Kerewa thing you just mentioned, and the kind of wild party we've been seeing this guy holding with Daddy Freeze in attendance, is Daddy Freeze going to tell us he's not aware of all these things?
Auntie Shefeko Toto, or see anybody to warrant Toby, to Masopo Mokoto Shele, after any ever felt parole de Koluku. Because in Cotton She over very obvious. Shefeko, one of the Kerewa videos.
Yeah. English, please. Right? I really want as many people to grab this, please.
One of the sexual whatever it was an orgy. It was a group orgy.
Wow.
Okay? So, when we then try to get the other children, I say children, you know what I mean when I say they're not children. But
yeah.
When we're trying to get...
We call them children because they are supposed to be children to us. Yeah, I understand.
So, when we're trying to get the other young people to talk, there were still people who are still there. At least some of the girls that he was showing their faces, I recognize most of the faces.
Those girls that he was flipping the cameras on?
Yeah, Daddy Freeze, I recognize, at least I know 5 of them. They refused to witness. You understand? And even when these other ones who spoke out, because that exposure that they have on YouTube is not just one voice. There are quite a group of them on that exposure. But what they do is they use voice changer. You understand? So what they started doing was they were trying to document their story, but the parents and people who were meant to be witnesses within the auntie. It's not just a case of parents alone, no. And one leaders within the African community. Most people knows what is going on. But again, it's a case of
the way we do back home,
exactly. So the African community, in as much as yes, the British whatever, but the truth is the African community contributed massively to the monster to Toby Adegboyega.
It's almost similar to the case of the pastor that I told you somebody called me about here. It's very similar. No, not even Olawanle now. I'm talking about a pastor here in America that is doing something similar to what Toby is doing. Yeah, exactly the same thing. The parents know, but none of them is ready to talk.
Exactly. So the thing is,
okay.
For instance, Auntie, remember Isaac Fayoshe, the brother of former governor of Ekiti State.
Yes.
Now, when they were talking about
flip camera, when they
were talking about deportation or no deportation, right? Isaac Fayoshe came out and spoke. But the question nobody was asking him, yes, it's good that he spoke out. But the question nobody is asking him is, how long ago did his son and his nephew
God bless you
disclose that information? And then when they disclose it,
what did he do? Why is he talking now?
Report to the police, right? Because obviously, you see, when a crime, when something goes wrong, they would all come together and speak up.
Yeah.
Nobody will cover anybody. But unfortunately, you see the African community, Auntie, this case of Toby is not a new case in the African community. But the problem is, if Toby is exposed, it will become a pack of domino on others because it happens within the community. And this is close to what happened with the Master Ashimolowo. You see the way Toby is running up and down. It's because he's black. It's because he's Kiriko. Ashimolowo Shejubelo. One clip wings,
Benny.
Right?
Well, his own case, could see sexual something, Peluti. I think it's all about money. His own case was all about money. Yeah.
It is because of Ashimolowo's case of money laundering and mismanagement of funds. That was what led to Redeem in United Kingdom, right? Being registered as franchise. Because Baba Adegboyega was clever when the whole thing started. Because what happened with Master Ashimolowo was he wrote a book that was titled "What is Wrong with Being Black." Okay,
like trying to make it stable racism thing, eh?
No. He was just writing.
Oh, okay. All right.
He was documenting his story of success because Master Ashimolowo whined and died with the royal family. You understand? When Master Ashimolowo was Master Ashimolowo, he whined. KICC was a church everybody wanted to be in the UK, in London rather.
In those days, you are right.
Yes, at that time in London, everybody wanted to go to KICC. Okay. Now, what then happened with Master Ashimolowo was Master Ashimolowo wrote a book. Now, when he wrote that book, he wrote it as Matthew Ashimolowo. But the proceeds of the book, so every penny, like when they sell the book, instead of the money going through Matthew Ashimolowo's account as an individual account, he passed the money through KICC's account. You understand? So it was charity, this same charity commission that Toby is talking as if he doesn't know what he's saying. This same charity commission was the one that checked the books because everybody have to declare their accounts every end of the year. So when they checked the books for the charity commission for KICC, they realized that the proceeds of What is Wrong with Being Black book went through the bank, the account of KICC. Now it didn't even stay in that account alone. The money then was transferred. They noticed that there were two major transfers, the two lump sums. The part was transferred to Redeem, to RCCG headquarters. Okay, they traced the money to headquarters in Nigeria, and they traced another money to Ota, to Oyedepo. You understand? But what then happened was, Charity Commission even did a deal with them, when they traced it. And unfortunately for Ashimolowo at that time, Oyedepo just bought a private jet. You understand? So there was questions around
our criminal.
You are a charity in the UK. How is charity able to buy a private jet? You understand, in Nigeria. So then they started putting torchlight on them. And they realized that, okay, at that time, Ashimolowo there was a time, I don't know if he's built a university now.
Yes, he has a university now. He has a university.
You understand? At that time, he wanted to build university. So the fund, he thought he was being clever. He remitted the money. So, you understand? So when Charity Commission reached out, Baba had to transfer what was sent to no account. We had to transfer it by the Charity Commission. You understand? But Oyedepo, because he's greedy, he refused to transfer. And that was what led to the kind of one where they're like, so you guys are registered. And it was through that investigation that they noticed that in the UK, Nigerian churches are registered as charity. But in Nigeria, churches are registered as business.
Benny.
You understand? So what they then did with RCCG was, okay, you guys are remitting, because that was how they found out that Open Heaven was being sold as well. But they were bringing Open Heaven in as gifts, as a charity gift. Meanwhile, it was being sold on the soil of United Kingdom. And
so they don't want to pay tax on it, right? They want to take all the money.
Charity. Remember, it's free.
It's supposed to be free, but they are selling.
They are selling.
It's supposed to be free, but they are selling.
Yes. So there were a lot of questions around it. And that time, luckily, Agu was the head of the whatever church then. So
like the provincial something, regional, whatever they call it.
So Agu was there. So they got lawyers. And that was why till today, in the soil of United Kingdom, Redeem is the only African church on the soil of United Kingdom that is registered as full-blown charity and social enterprise. You understand? And that's why Redeem is not classed as a church. It's classed as a franchise in the UK.
Really? Now, it's not classified as a church now?
No. It's not classified as a church because they have a charity angle and they have a social enterprise angle. So if you want to register Redeem in United Kingdom, they have a specialist lawyer, a specialist legal team that has to register because they still remit money to their headquarter church in Nigeria. Because remember, the headquarter church is a business because in Nigeria, church is a business, not charity. And that's why in Redeem, it's difficult for them to get the gift aid that the government that they get back every end of the financial year as charity.
In UK?
Yes. Information are all, our people, like Toby said, or I hate to say it too, our people don't read. They got set up church, they don't understand the nitty-gritty.
Go ahead.
So,
we are enjoying
Tobi
this.
Adegboyega, you see how Tobi Adegboyega is? It's not like a case of they cannot charge him or he cannot go down. As a matter of fact,
okay, somebody said it's true in RCCJ in London. Okay, somebody is confirming what you are saying. Go ahead.
So you see, with Tobi Adegboyega, it's not like he cannot persecute. It's not like he cannot be convicted for the crimes that has been alleged. But the witnesses, right? Because of course, it's one thing to say they have a victim, that those children are coming out as victims. Remember, they are adults. Okay, so whatever they did it willingly.
Willingly,
and you can
yes.
get that from the call by my church.
Yes.
Where it is their name that
they are not minors
for this loan. But the people who would have been witnesses for them, like their parents, their whoever it is that knows more, people within the community are not willing to come out. It's like this is lawyer. There are a lot of cases against. There are a lot of whatever against his lawyer, but people are not willing to come out.
So his lawyers too. Yes, that's what I heard. Somebody spoke to me today extensively about him.
You know what they do? One lokule.
Even the wife is even involved, begging people not to talk.
And see, you don't even want to know.
I'm not worried. He's coming out.
So when you hear Toby
he's coming out.
Yes, he will talk anyhow because the African community, I'm a very proud Nigerian, but the African community has aided and abetted Toby and have made it difficult.
We age nonsense.
Yeah, they've made it difficult. They are making it difficult for the system to pin Toby down. There are a lot of traces to him. I mean, you saw it in the con by me.
Yeah.
Where he was where he was talking about that they've raised over 700,000. In Bologo no wa. I won't go like one red don't follow. And see, okay, you see the transcript of the recent case. That transcript is in the public domain.
Yes, I've been able to read a little bit. Although it's very long.
You can, Auntie, I don't know how much you have read, but the little you have read, you can see that even the things they were telling him to produce, he didn't produce anything.
Yeah.
It was all over the place. Okay? Now, he claimed that his lifestyle is being funded by his wife. Okay? And his wife earns 100,000 per annum. Right? Now,
and that's what he's using to sponsor his lavish lifestyle.
And he'll break it down. The 100,000 per annum, for instance, is before tax. Okay? The wife is definitely where our tax is a 30% tax, which is a high tax. Okay? Now, remotely, the wife is coming home with nothing less than between 6,500. She's coming home with just under 7,000. Okay? That's her take home pay after tax. Okay? Now, where Tobi Adegboyega lives? Tobi Adegboyega lives in an 8-bedroom mansion.
Was it not 2.5 million pounds house?
He has moved away from there. He's even in a different one. The house that Reggie, there was an interview. The one that
where the Reggie went to meet him?
You see that house that Reggie went to go and meet him? That is the new place he lives.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So that is an 8-bedroom mansion.
Not even the 2.5 million pounds house.
No, that's even more. The way he lives now is more expensive.
More expensive.
Okay? Now, the mortgage for that property, right, where he lives, at least you are looking at between 4,500 to 5,000 pounds per month. So the wife, let's say her take home pay is just, let's say for talking sake, is 7,000 pounds.
Abi, okay? Per month.
Now, so if they pay 4,500, let's say it's even 4,500, let's say 4,500 also for mortgage. Now there's council tax in that particular area. The council tax will be D band because the bands are different. They're different grades. So the D band is an expensive band. So the council tax per month will probably be around about 2 grand. So
that's 7,000.
Okay. Now you can see he drives Ferrari. He has Lamborghini. Okay. Yes, they are hired, but they don't go and hire them with £1. Okay. So that one aside. Now the children are attending private school. Okay. Look at about fuel insurance at the council tax. It will not hear what of income.
Abi, and other expenses. How do they pay other expenses? Monthly expenses.
Of the children are in private school. Where are they getting the money to fund
that private school? Private schools are women-in-law.
Now, I want Louis Vuitton, the so-called Louis Vuitton and whatever that he's wearing. Even if he's hiring it, even if it's because what they tend to do is
what he's trying to say is that he's hiring them.
Okay, let's even say he's hiring them. He's not going there to go and hire it with 1p. He's using money to go and hire it. Okay? Now, anybody, at least we all drive. Well, I'm assuming most people drive. The fuel of Lamborghini, the fuel to fuel Lamborghini is not cheap. So, even if so the wife's income does not explain the lavish lifestyle
at all. At all.
Now, if you go and look at his Instagram, and Toby is just like Hush Puppy. He doesn't know how okay? Now, the parties he throws, they have private chefs. I mean,
the venue is using. The venue is using every year. How much is he paying for the venue? All right,
for church. You know, for church, Aunty, you know, Tobi Adegboyega, from the day he registered Spark Nation, they don't have a specific address.
They don't have location. They say they text them a night ahead. This is where the service is going to hold.
You know the venues they use? They use the likes of 5-star hotels or 7-star hotels.
Is it not the one you're saying they are paying like 20,000 per hour?
So, Auntie, you're talking 100,000 because he said he's fully reliant on his wife financially. And church is not paying him. So, you're probably 7,000 pounds.
Oh, Auntie Daddy Freeze, they will explain tire.
And that's why there's a lot of question about his unexplainable wealth. Okay, all of this wealth, where are you getting it from? And even the city that they're talking about.
When Daddy Freeze asked him, he refused to answer directly. He was just going back and forth and insulting Nigerians.
No more answer. So Daddy Freeze is losing the Hush Puppy. And he was shouting, this is lovely. This is that. When they catch Hush Puppy, he said he doesn't know that Hush Puppy, that he didn't say anything fraudulent about Hush Puppy. Right?
And this one too, he doesn't say anything fraudulent about this. How old is he? And with everything, is Daddy Freeze going to tell me all this panorama thing? Please don't call me on this number. I've given you a number to call. Call me on 240. I've pinned the number. Please. +1 240 351 9287. That's the number to call. Daddy Freeze, as learned as he is, that he goes around, is he going to tell us he doesn't know this panorama thing that we are watching today? This, as I was called or something. Will he tell us he has not seen them?
He has watched it until, remember when they were talking about Hush Puppy as well? Daddy Freeze said he didn't know anything. That he told them their source of income. He did this. You know how Daddy Freeze rules.
Okay.
The thing is,
and it is the type that is calling out pastors, right?
Auntie, you see, before I round up, you see Panorama. Before they will do Panorama in UK, they would have gotten their evidence because it's an investigative angle of journalism. They don't just jump at just any story. Now, people listening, if you have the time, go and watch Jimmy Savile on Netflix.
Jimmy Savile, they gave somebody, please, whoever is calling me, don't call me on this number. Call me on +1 240 351 9287. I have said this countless times. Please. Sheve can block lori and other numbers. I will block every number till my family number. If that is what I will have to do. Go ahead. So there is this movie somebody said we should watch too. You know, this will really shed light on this kind of a thing. And before your children will go and fall, Frank Lucas, American Gangsters. Go ahead.
And so you see that Jimmy Savile, right?
Jimmy Savile.
Jimmy Savile. You see that Jimmy Savile. He was
Memphis.
a philanthropist. He was a DJ. He was a BBC. He was a DJ. He was a DJ, was a celebrity DJ. Okay? Now, this Jimmy Savile is a white man. He raised a lot of money for charities in the UK. He was even given a knighthood. That's how much he was recognized. He was given a knighthood by the late Queen. He ruled with the high and mighty. But guess what, Auntie? Behind all the charity he was doing, he had series of sexual abuse. He was abusing women and men. Okay? And they traced him as far back as the 70s, where there was sexual abuse going on. Yes, he was buried as a celebrity. And so do you know that even at death, when the cases started coming out, at death, you know what they did? They overturned his will. Right? Now, his will has been frozen as payment of compensation to all his victims, both those that have come out and those that are yet to come out. Now, the streets that were named after him, all his names were removed. At death,
any human cow. How do you keep calling somebody that what's your call? How do you keep calling somebody rejecting your number and you keep calling on my line? I'm going to block that person's number once I am done. This is not the first time this person is doing this. That particular number, I am going to block you off my 2 lines once I am done. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. So you know what this guy did was they removed his name from every place of history in United Kingdom. So much so that the Jimmy Savile that everybody praised, right now, Jimmy Savile is listed as a pedophile. He has no place in the history. And that is a white person. He's on Netflix. Anybody that has Netflix, go and watch
Money
Jimmy
Netflix.
Savile.
No.
Just go and watch it, Jimmy Savile. You will see the history.
So this is the registration. Once you send the registration company, see me.
So, because Auntie, in Tobi story for the gods, ni. Shari Tobi. Osh Poppy, Shari arrest the Osh Poppy, so that be
Hollywood.
Thank you, man.
Thank you so much for the contribution, the insights. The last show I did, I went to after my last show, I saw messages. Somebody said, Auntie, my children has talked with Toby. In fact, I am not happy. I have been sad. I have been going through this for a long time. Somebody sent me a message. Immediately I finished. She said her children and the children of her sister are stuck in that place. Imagine your child is stuck in a place where you think is a church and all this kind of news is coming out. Tell me how you'll be able to sleep as a parent. Tell me how you'll be able to close your 2 eyes and say everything is okay. A place where they are saying that they are selling white powder. They are using children to sell white powder. They are using children to do all kinds of activities. Children are collecting loans and giving it to somebody. It's not collecting the loan directly. The children are going to pay that loan. And you think he's not doing anything. Isaac Fayoshe came out. Said his son and his friends, his son and the nephew were also stuck in that place. And you say everything is okay. We should not talk. Anyway, let us listen to the interview, analyze the interview.
Talking about the £1.9 million fraud case, it has now been downgraded, or should I say tilted, towards the word mismanagement. What really is that about?
Sees themselves as law-abiding. So either the charity, the police, the media, they are law-abiding because they understand that today, in this day and age, and I'm not talking about Nigerians just talking for food. They know that in this day and age, at some point, the law will catch up on you. They will not dare say it because it's not true.
It's not true.
I was saying it on my page. I believe for many years of slavery and all his wealth, you have the right to suspect your own brother.
So what Daddy Freeze is trying to say here, I might be pausing, please. He was trying to ask that the 1.9 million fraud is there, but the government is not saying anything about that. Remember, if you have been watching watching us on this page, particularly, that we have been talking about Tobi Adegboyega. And if you are really following the story very well, from BBC, Panorama, from the exposers, Toby is not directly involved in the fraud case. So they can't really catch him like this. But there is a fraud case misappropriation of 1.9 million. There is that case there, but they cannot directly link it to him. They are still investigating that. Remember, it was not Tobi that was collecting loan. People's children are being asked to go and collect loan, student loan, and they bring it to church. So they bring it to church and you collect. So the government can collect how much has been collected. Probably that and many others. So Tobi can only fool and deceive Daddy Freeze. He cannot fool and deceive people like us. He cannot fool many parents. There was a video we did the last time. He cannot fool parents like that. Their children are in debt because of Tobi. A man said his son has relocated to Dubai because of this case. Probably that boy took loan. He cannot afford to pay back. And these children will not even go to school for the money they collected. Daddy Freeze, you cannot twist this case. Or for Nigerians that are following you. You cannot twist it. Before UK can come out and say there is misappropriation of funds, they know what they are saying. It is there. It is there. They stated it clearly. And they know why they said it. They know what made them say it. Àwa ti sọ tẹ́lẹ̀ wípé òtún ló máa ṣẹ̀wọ̀n rárẹ̀. He was using those children. It is like a case of DRUG Lord. DRUG Lord. You know what I mean? They don't do the job directly by themselves. They stay in their room. And probably nobody even know where they are staying. And they have agents they use. And they will say, well, I want you to be doing this job. They call them carrier, container, whatever other name they call them. So the container, they will be the one. When they catch them, when something happens, now who then they catch? Now the container, because now they carry them. But because, okay, Temilola is on. You can call me after the show. But because this is a deeper thing, it is a case of somebody that is expected to be a mentor, to be a pastor, now using that office to push children out to go and do what they are not supposed to do. That is the case of what is going on. Daddy Freeze, you can do better. You have always sat in that your show, in your wherever you do your show, put on your ring light to analyze people's issue. Why are you not being truthful on this case? Why are you allowing Tobi? And this is what they say. When you eat, you cannot talk. Okay, somebody said the man's son went to Dubai, didn't take out the loan. They opened, where's that comment again? Oh, they opened a company in the name of the son and took out the loans.
That's understandable. But when it comes to the test of the law and what is right in a country that poses themselves as the lawgiver, as the democratic lawgiver, as the ones who correct the world, who tells the world what is right, they won't dare to say it because it doesn't exist. And people will then say, well, you've been reading it and you've not challenged those who are saying it. The problem with defamation and things here is you have to wait. The right lawyers have to find the right things, and everybody will learn now what it means to peddle false news. The Charity Commission never
false
mentioned
news.
1.8 million. They are our regulatory body. They never mentioned it. So on the BBC interview, I asked the lady interviewing me, fortunately for Nigerian shouting, you see, these things you want to crucify Pastor Toby for, if you are great, if you make it, you will suffer it. If you don't, your kids will go through it. That's why we are fighting. That's why we are fighting. So we stand on what is factual. The Charity Commission mentioned 1.8. I've now spoken to them, which Nigerians will call out. On BBC, they should at least come out and say, this is one. If someone steals 1.8 million or is associated, you will say, on the 15th of January, someone moved this money from, I dare them to do it.
Audio is low.
Then everybody should keep quiet and respect what is called humanity, meaning just the basic human sense. Okay.
Thank you very much. A lot of people are saying you should have challenged. When Afe Babalola challenged what was written about him, he said he was doing too much. When you did not challenge
Who is he going to challenge?
Why did you not challenge?
I won't challenge something unless I know I can win. I don't like losing. We live in a country that the social bias is great. So you have to work diligently and make sure that the law cases that are out now against people, first of all, I don't want to ruin the community I was trying to build. People are trying to eat, especially in countries like Nigeria. In Nigeria, if you start pure water business, 1,000 people will do it on your street because we don't think, we just copy. So people that are trying to eat through internet, Instagram followership, I'm young kids here. I'm not going to be taking.
He's waffling for real.
We are now out with challenge, and we've waited for years so that the authorities don't say, "Oh, it's only been 3 months investigation. It's 4 to 5 years now." So it's going to be challenged. We're patient enough. You don't win by reacting immediately. Achebe taught us that.
Let's talk about the Charity Commission that you mentioned. What was that really about? And what were their findings? What was the charity? What is the Charity Commission? What were their findings when they did their investigation? Let's address that.
Well, the Charity Commission, number one.
I think we lost this audio.
Kilo Shele.
First of all,
okay,
the so-called shambolic race investigation that was done into Spark Nation was done by a Muslim. A Muslim regulates a Christian body. They are not well. I'm telling you now, we're public. I'm on BBC. But no worries. Everybody is the law. So people can read the law. And then the officers. But their conclusion is this. When a charity registers in the UK, you have to prove that you make £5,000 a year. We stopped taking donations, which means by law, you are not making 5,000 a year. So by law, you have to be shut down. You are not a charity by law.
He is not really addressing the issue to me.
You mentioned something about reputational management, meaning that when there are issues, we didn't act to control the narrative. Number one question is, we stopped taking donations. Did you ask us why? But because we need them to pay us,
let's talk about these donations. You don't take tithe, you don't take offering, you don't take
we never did.
So how are you funding yourself if you don't take tithe and offering? How are you funding?
The money does not come to the central. The pastor has no access to that money.
But boy is smart.
That's why they have now, like little cats, they've now run to mismanagement. Mismanagement means, and I'll tell you the case of mismanagement. I'll tell you exclusively this. Mismanagement means that you told us that we paid 40K for something. And then we are telling you, did we pay it or not? You have to prove that we didn't, but we did.
What I expect that the priest to say is that
we got the money to them and paid it next day. Whereas your own law as charity says that the reason why you chase some of our African fathers, or not my father, I don't have any spiritual father. The reason why you chase some of the Christian fathers out is they kept too much money in their account. We needed it today. We raised it today. We paid it the next day.
You raise money now, you spend everything today.
1,000 young people into that place. We paid 40K. That, like the people that received the money extorted us. We paid 40K for 2 hours, 20K per hour.
That is 40,000.
20,000 per hour.
Is on the record. Ask charity, ask BBC, ask the police. Is there any organization run by a black man that submit 10 years of receipts? How can you not come online and tell us that these receipts are forged or faulty? You didn't say once. You now went and published a vague report, and we are saying, okay, you see fraud here. Everyone that is a fraudster, you will say, on the 15th of January, this person moved 10 pounds from here to there. I dare them to do so. Sir, they can never. We paid the price for this community. We didn't take from them. We all worked. young men for the first time in the history. If Nigeria is a great country, and I believe it is, with very few unfortunate people, if it is, they should be asking this question and saying for the first time, they should go and ask their black pastors and fathers in UK, what did they do wrong? They should ask Peter, what did I do wrong? 10 years of receipt is with the charity. 10 years of receipt is with BBC. 10 years, sir. Receipt.
A lot of people are mentioning a previous BBC documentary on you. Do you want to throw some light on that?
You might play BBC documentary.
No. On that, a lot of people.
Aproko Doba mi send the kini video yen see page number yi +1240 351 yen. Buy me send this so that we can play it after this.
You saw today. That's why I said it's 1 hour out of it's 5 minutes out of 1 hour. They mentioned it too, but they won't play because it's against their own one of their departments. So I said,
now he's saying those children are working. What work are they doing that they are raising such money? Such huge money that they have to pay for a place, £20,000 per hour. What kind of work are they doing to raise such money? Toby is not talking to Mumu. Where are they getting such money from that they have to pay for a space that will cost them £20,000 per hour? What are the jobs those children are doing that they are raising such money?
Audit investigation. I asked the lady, define the word investigation, because this is BBC. You people gave us English language. What's an investigation?
Okay.
There are 3 investigations done into Spark Nation. As in, BBC came with their camera to my house.
I saw that video. And in that video, where they went to his house, if you see that video, you will see his body language. His body language gave him out. The
one they are referring to is called Panorama. They didn't come to us. They switch on cameras and call people that have left the church to comment. Then I asked them, today now, people who have left the Catholic Church, if you ask them to talk, would they have good things to say? People who have left Sainsbury supermarket, or what's the supermarket in Nigeria called? Maybe like, which one is Nigeria? ShopRite, their staffs. Then BBC, go on Google. Are there people complaining about BBC? Absolutely. You can't then turn on the camera on those ones, don't ask us questions and say investigation. The word does not tally. It's not, I cannot be sitting on something called British Broadcasting Corporation and you can't define your own English. Is investigation one-sided? It's not one-sided. For the sake of justice. Panorama turned on the camera, looked for people that are disgruntled because they know they are appealing to Nigerians who are extremely...
Sorry, if I see a very relevant comment, I will pause. Somebody said he is trying to avoid paper trail. That is why he was using daily spending.
Sentimental, smart when they choose to be, but extremely sentimental and express what they don't understand. Meaning, it is natural for humans to fight what they don't understand. Nigerians will express it as well, which makes us what we are today, very needy. So they can put panorama. So they said in Panorama, but they are
criminal.
Madam, your Panorama zoomed in on a paper, said X money was taken from Mr. A to Mr. B. I said, where is Spark Nation in this? Where's my name? Or at least give me the name of any pastor. So just the fact that this person says this person and that person, we had a transaction, it is Spark Nation. I don't understand it. It is not real. Any Nigerian listening to this thing will realize it's victimization. It's
really?
Not real. Give us one thing and prosecute the person.
Not that kind of smartness. Not that kind of smartness. Negative one. I don't know what other word to use.
On facts. How can you prosecute us on not one single fact? And that is why I must praise the police institution. And I don't play with them. I'm not a fan. But in the UK, I must praise them. They've not put up one case. It's been 5 years after. I'm so sure. on my government, because you, as in your own institution, 5 years after, not one invitation to police station, 5 years. Do you understand?
So yes, I understand. I want to take this from your own words. So are you trying to suggest now that the BBC, with this current interview, were unable to read harmony into both narratives in circulation? The one that they're releasing now and the one from Panorama, they were not able to read harmony into the narratives.
There is no harmony.
Really?
It's not they were not able to. By fact and by law and by morality, the standard they claim to stand by, they cannot. And I'm speaking tonight, if they can, they should. They can't do it. Why?
Definitely.
So this is public. Nobody should say, oh, that if we're biased. This is public. I said it on their own channel. They should read it. They should say no, but they brought up a fact against Black Nation and you. They should be able. And let me tell you, if there was, they would be so happy to do it. What are we? We're just black guys.
Somebody doing this kind of thing is talking about morality.
It's amazing that Nigerians will sit begging France that Congo is getting out of their nation. They are begging France. They are sitting with France, listening to their C-word, begging France. Congo is trying to get rid.
But what has that got to do with what you are accused of?
It's the people. These same people will be telling me how the law works here. What is right, what is wrong? Am I in Malaysia? Am I in Singapore? Am I in Dubai? You're a fraudster. You're driving Lambo around in Europe.
What job do you do?
No offense.
Okay, so once again, I'm going to come right back to this question, and I'm going to want to shut this down. Somebody says there's a YouTube documentary that shows a lot about PT in that documentary, and it was obvious Pastor Toby played smart using his name or Smart Nation to apply for loans with young people's names.
Yeah.
And Pastor Toby has hereby said no such thing ever happened. Correct me if I'm wrong. And
when did you say that?
Alleged that the BBC, with this current interview, were not able to read harmony into that narrative, especially when placed parallel
Daddy
with
freeze.
the narrative that they are trying to, should I say,
did I miss when he said that?
In the new interview. But anyway, it's what you said. It's your words, not mine. I like to hear them in your words, Pastor Toby. Let's talk about the young people that they were asking, that they suggested. Said you asked them for loans.
A YouTuber loans for how much do they give as loans to young people in UK? Well, Africans are so. No wonder. We've always wondered since I was young. I thought politicians would change Nigeria. You couldn't. But I now understand why. BBC will not dare do those things because they have a name. A YouTuber has no name. They don't care about what they say to people. They just want to make $15 and feed their entire village, with due respect. So I'm not going to even give that credence. Answering that is like, okay.
He's avoiding that question stylishly.
The lady emphasizing, said, show me the proof. Show proof. I was smart doing what?
Can you see he avoided answering that question again?
Please, guys, please don't let's trivialize what's important. I can't do it. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I'm not going to be able to answer low-life questions. I need people to... The only reason why we went to BBC is people with name, history, resources, funds can ask questions, not YouTuber now. YouTuber wants to eat. I'm not going to do that. I'm not bringing the whole family. Do you understand what the family is? We're gradually becoming the strongest black movement in Europe.
Have you sent it to me? The panorama something.
Answering a YouTuber. Sorry, sir.
Can you see? He has avoided answering the question again.
They should show the proof. And you see the YouTuber talking. When the law let us eat them.
Because the YouTubers in the question, no need.
Intimidating them. We're just saying, you see what you're saying, come prove it in court. When he hits them, nobody should say, oh, he's a pastor, he shouldn't do this and that. It's not me doing.
He's not going to answer that.
Like that. And if there is, the people should come forward with their proof.
Okay, let us talk about the deportation.
In other words, no answer. No comment.
PBMs often get rebates on medicines.
Let's listen to the deportation aspect, then we go to the BBC something. This guy is something else. I'm trying to be careful with my words because of TikTok and YouTube.
You told the interviewer from the BBC that
I feel it. Babel
deportation
UK. I feel it.
I'm Nigerian. I don't understand what a deportation order is. Can you throw some light on this?
I don't understand what the order is as well, because I've not paid
Okay.
attention.
Parents, victims are commenting already on the show.
But you made them, you sponsored them, you buy their house. What's my own with you? Like, what's my own? I have personal battles, and that becomes your battle. If I was your government,
Your oldest daughter is still there.
The truth of the matter is, I'm a citizen of the country that I need to be, and I want to be, because money makes you have choices. Poverty makes you beg. We were ambushed. We were ambushed to say, make sure you get this before you leave this place. But that's all I'm going to say about that. And there's no order. I'm going to be here with due respect to my government, and I'm telling them they know what is right to do.
Yes.
They need to protect their home, because their home protected them.
You match makes them.
Protection. I gave a shield to all of them. And I don't care if government changes or not. We made sure that they were fine when they needed to be fine. We were the roof over their head. We were ambushed. All the people that have had immigration.
He refused to answer this question too when they asked about his deportation. He went for Nigerians again. Oh yeah? You are trying.
Ask them, have you seen 5 judges before? White judges. Have you answered for 7 hours? I did. The transcript will be out. So forget all those. So, sir, I will share with you how many countries have written to us. They want us there. So if I have to come, why would I be afraid of coming to Nigeria? I'm proud of Nigeria. I'm proud in Nigeria. And the current government is doing well. Anybody who thinks otherwise can jump off the cliff. That's my own opinion. I'm not going to take that out. And to live there, if I arrive in Nigeria, I will arrive with a cavalry of very fine young men and women. We will live way better than we are living in our assignment ground.
Parents, you parents and your children are stuck there. Did you hear what he just said? He's trying to say if he's going to Nigeria, those people will follow him. Should we take it back? She should come and convince our mom to relocate the loan in Nigeria. Let me take it back a bit.
You need to stress about how to have money in Nigeria. 2 shoes, 3 maybe, will sustain me for 3 years. Shoes that we invest. See about that. And there's no order. I'm going to be here with due respect to my government, and I'm telling them they know what is right to do. They need to protect their home, because their home protected them when they needed my protection. I gave a shield to all of them. And I don't care if government changes or not. We made sure that they were fine when they needed to be fine. We were the roof over their head. We were ambushed. All the people that have had immigration problem, ask them, have you seen 5 judges before? White judges. Have you answered for 7 hours? I did. The transcript will be out. So forget all those. So, sir, I will share with you how many countries have written to us. They want us there. So if I have to come, why would I be afraid of coming to Nigeria? I'm proud of Nigeria. I'm proud in Nigeria. And the current government is doing well. Anybody who thinks otherwise can jump off the cliff. That's my own opinion. I'm not going to take that out. And to live there, if I arrive in Nigeria, I will arrive with a cavalry of very fine young men and women, and we will live way better than we are living in our assignment ground. I don't need to stress about how to have money in Nigeria. 2 shoes, 3 maybe, will sustain me for 3 years. Shoes that we invested in, shoes, what they wear on the leg. Please, I'm saying this publicly. So what is immigration? It's belittling, and that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to belittle not just me, the black race, and they found someone that is speaking for them, and they used it to things. Passports are up for sale.
It sounded like another Jonestown, kind of. He's so confident those children will follow. Somebody said they're adults, that they will follow him.
People that your organization has helped keep off the street. You did speak about this in your interview on the BBC. You did say that if you leave the UK now, many young people, I like to use the word for because of community guidelines, will buy. So, in what way is your organization preventing, or should I say, helping the young people where the UK government and the current church system has failed?
So, what's church system? What's church system? There's no church system. When we came here, 2005, for whatever they want to say, that immigration phase, 7 hours they print a paper. People have immigration for it. Is it public? So when I came to UK in 2005, in Queen's Road Peckham, if you have not heard
alleg,
a day, you know you should stay at home. It's in the court's rules. We should not be, yes, tough. In the court transcript, the one they just focus on immigration, they begged me to show them how I led 2,000 plus women. Is it more than 2,000? To number 10 recently this year. We were walking. We were walking, and our walk is public.
Are you sure okay? Are you sure it's normal?
No black leader that's done this. I mean, maybe America. So we walked between Tottenham and Woodgreen. God, as in, do you understand that it's Nigerian? That fight alone took more than 17 lives. I settled it in a public service. I brought the gang leaders together. 5 weeks ago, a young man came out of prison. He was sentenced. Imagine this, so that people can at least support your own person. This guy came out of imprisonment. They sentenced him to about 40 years. He was when they sentenced him, he was about 22, 20 something. BBC followed him to my house because they can't believe that such a guy.
Yeah, I think it's not okay.
It's on BBC documentary.
I think it's not okay.
We are not negative people. How come we are saying negative interviews? BBC followed him. Yeah, I gave him a deal. He didn't listen. Then he went jail. Guess what UK has now done? They released this guy. They released this guy because they no longer have space for people in prison. The day he came out, people were shouting, please call his pastor. I'm not his pastor, I don't know him. He's on BBC documentary. How can the eye of the so-called black popular smart people be blind to this and open to Panorama? What is Panorama? If Panorama comes out to give one evidence.
Because that one does not know who you are, no.
I will leave their country. If they give one evidence, one. So that's what my people, I dare them now.
So here is Pastor Toby challenging.
BBC is not going to play that part, but it's on their video. But we have the video, and they have by law they should release it to us. I'm challenging them to play it and to come out and say.
You should play it. Why can't you put it out? Maybe you have a page.
Pastor Toby is saying.
At all, it's not coherent at all.
They have one shred of evidence. He's willing to leave the country.
What if you go on in the process? They are showing those girls in the room, in the house.
More like quite a few questions.
Can
I continue?
Please. Sorry, I'm just trying to. There's a lot of media. Everybody now wants me to speak against charity. All the pastors that have been hiding, London pastors.
Speak about it. Speak about the charity.
What these people do is they bring you up to bring you down. That's the European system. Problem they have with people like me is they can't, because they can't figure out how to bring me down. If you have resources, everybody that they said accused us of something, it is unheard of. You cannot stand for it. Please, I mean, reasonable people should listen to this. This guy and their church has done a fraud and all this mismanagement of 1.9 million. But don't worry, we pardon you, be going free. But you see your immigration, don't go free. Europe. London was set up by the Roman Empire to make money. The whole point of London is money. You take their money and you're fighting your immigration.
We know that one.
This in UK is bringing in a rating hotel for them. Google it now. Any Nigerian believing that as the issue that makes Nigeria Nigeria. But guess what? We are able to come to equity and say, come out, speak boldly, charity, talk. Who took what money when? All the young people that you put on camera, they paid these young people 40 pounds. 40 pounds is what they paid these young people to talk about.
So you are alleging that Panorama paid?
He's paying those children to talk.
I'm not just alleging. I'm going to prove it. The only people that don't have proof is them. They should come with proof. When they do, I'll show them my proof. Because what they don't know is a young person.
So the people, you're saying that the people who made allegations against you were
paid 40 pounds. 40 pounds.
Sir?
That is granting interview. Why do you keep showing those people? Is it to show that they are united or they are together? Of course, when you find yourself in this kind of a thing, there is this unity. You see, this kind of Toby's church exists here too. That church, this kind of church. I wish the people that are involved can come out by themselves. They want me to do that job. I said no, I cannot. I wish they can come out and come and speak too. I learned children as talk in that place. Yeah, we call them children because they are our children. They are adults, of course. They are stuck there, where their salary is going to this pastor too, here in America. Here in America. Parents, ẹ̀dẹ̀ ojú sílẹ̀, ní ṣe àṣedànù lórí ọmọ. This is not the time you will let your children, you will let them run out of the house or you will chase them outside. Outside is not good again. Church that is supposed to be a safe haven. You see what is going on. Somebody said it's not a church, it's a cult. I don't know. It is called a church. I don't know whether it is a cult. It is a church. I was there once. I saw the place. It was being operated by like a church. But immediately I saw the pastor. I said, no, this one is, something is wrong in this place. I went to check out the place when the woman told me. And the place is still existing. It is here in America. It is headed by a Nigerian pastor too. Àwọn tó ń lọ́rọ̀ tó bá fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ kán wá sọ fúnra wọn.
Response, dismissal. And when I was asked, they said, well, the box stops with the leader. And I said, people will be right. They'll be right. However, given one issue, as in, sir, maybe Nigerians don't understand this, but I'm looking for the lightest, dumbest way to explain this.
Look at the way he's insulting Nigerians. Dumbest way to explain.
Or at least they made it so. An MP goes there, submit a dossier according to him of allegations, submit it to the Minister of Interior or whatever name they call it here. The person escalates it to the police for the police to investigate, so that we can't say he submitted the secret. He submitted it in the public, in the parliament. The police looks at this thing and says worthless. You can't even waste taxpayers' money investigating this nonsense. Guess the people that embraced it.
He's just calling Nigerians any names that he likes.
My own people. So they are asking now. Then I told the BBC, he's on record. I said, if the MP, you cannot as a black pastor without immigration status, as they want to say, challenge an MP publicly and say the MP should be apologizing. If there is not any honor left in MPing, we made people MP, so nobody can threaten with that. We are saying, after 5 years, the police said this is worthless. The police, is the MP saying the police are worthless? A useless institution?
So the police said the allegations against you are worthless, or I didn't hear that properly.
It's on news now. It's on news. It's not...
Give us the link. Give us the link. Let's go and read. Where is the link? Where they said it is worthless.
With less suffering. Because only knowledge can stop suffering.
Somebody said, why can't this fraud go away quietly like Ashimo Lowo? The money, it can't survive easily in Nigeria.
Because there's a generation of Nigerians rising. They will find out the truth. It doesn't matter what their parents tell them. They'll find out. We are the truth. They'll find out. They'll look for it. So I'm not bothered about the current Nigerian status. It's rice that is needed, Christmas food, Christmas charity. And nobody can stop me from being kind to my own people. The temptation is there, but we won't.
That is the question.
In reference to a video currently in circulation about where you are asked if you believe in Jesus.
And he said, what Jesus?
We talk about that. The video, I remember watching the video where you said, who is Jesus?
Who is Jesus?
Or something
Yes.
along those lines. So my question for you here is, do you believe in Jesus? Are you a Christian?
I'm a leader that is a Christian. I believe in Yehoshua. They asked me on BBC, by the way. I can't believe it. I was laughing when they asked. We'll release the video to you. Like, this is so
very corny guy. They can't jail him for the fraud because he's not a trustee of the charity. He removed his name when they started investigating him. Hello? He removed his name when they started investigating him. That was when he changed the name of the church to Spark Nation. He removed his name. He removed his name. You think all those ones, they will not link everything together at the end of the day? The tele-evangelists in America are worst, but they lock some of them up now. And their own case is not like this case. This is a case of people, somebody carrying vulnerable people, young people, to go and collect money, and is collecting that money, either directly or indirectly. You heard when they say they transfer a certain money to a certain account, but they don't know how that money disappeared from that account. Money, you can't transfer money anyhow in this country, and that money will go scot-free. How many of you witnessed a case that is going on of one guy that buy an insurance organ? They catch the guy. This guy did not spend cash. He did not spend any cash. He was spending cash, moving from one place to the other. What's he pay now?
My name is Aunty Adunni. I'm a video director and TV producer of Akomolowe on African Magic. Keep watching Drivetv.
Olólùfẹ́ Drivetv àti gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí Fẹ́mi Sola ẹ máa wo Drivetv. Keep watching Drivetv.
My name is Wole Agba. Taking this time out to tell you all that you keep watching Drivetv. What drive ẹ̀wọ̀ ní ògo ẹ̀? What drive ẹ̀wọ̀ fulfilment? What drive ẹ̀wọ̀ bí tó o bá lọ? Ó ní iṣẹ́ rìn. Ibi ni kò máa wò Drivetv. Thank you. Chloe.
Drivetv. Driving you around the world.